Now stop and think about that same person. July of 2011, last summer. We were getting ready for the big debate on raising the nation's debt limit. And this was not an easy decision to make. You need to know that. And we were getting into this whole debate going on. And the President of the United States calls the Speaker of the House and says to the Speaker, I'd like you to bring all the Republicans over to the White House at 10:30 on Wednesday morning. Now, for me, I was kind of struck. I almost didn't go. Because I was struck. Why in the world should 245 of us go over there when just one of them had to come over here? But here's the president. He did invite us, so I decided to come. 8 o'clock the night before, Tuesday night, my email goes off. Have these phones that they give us, and mine looks like this. Got the seal of the U.S. House of Representatives on the back, and my phone goes off. See, I'm reminded how to turn the ringer off. The phone goes off, and it was an email from Eric Cantor. And all it said is, Reid, tomorrow morning, we want you to pop the president on jobs and economy. That was it. I had no clue what that meant. None whatsoever. So the next day, they've got 5 buses out there, they have military escort, they shut the whole city down, and all of us get in the bus, drive over to the White House. And not being the brightest guy there, I never realized that there was a seat for me up front. I kind of sat back in the corner of the room. I want you to imagine that the east room of the White House, it's a yellow room if you've ever been there. The room is long and shaped like this. And the stage is over there against the wall, and we've got Tim Geithner, Secretary of the Treasury, was there, and Jack Lew, the Director of the OMB, who's now Chief of Staff of the President. President Obama was there, Vice President Biden was there, John Boehner was sitting up there, Eric Cantor was up there, Jeb Hensarling, their conference chair, was there, Paul Ryan from Wisconsin, was one of my heroes, was there, and also Dave Camp, who's the chairman of the House Ways and Means. House Ways and Means is the most powerful committee in all of Congress. And they're sitting up there, and I'm sitting back in this corner over here, freshman member of Congress, not knowing I was supposed to be sitting up there. I just walked in and sat with a bunch of my friends. So the conversation going on, all of a sudden John Boehner stands up and says, "Where's Reid Ribble?" And so I raised my hand, I'm over here, And they run over the microphone. I come and I stand in an aisle, and there's an aisle here, chairs over here, chairs over here, and there's an aisle looking straight at the President of the United States. Now think about this for a moment. 1 year prior, I was a roofing contractor from Now and I want to make a point. I know it sounds funny because it is, but there's a bigger point I want to make. That only in America could that happen. Yeah. Think about that. And I was struck, as I listened to the president, I was struck by something. President Reagan, because President Obama loves to quote President Reagan as if he's going to convince Republicans that he's right. President Reagan was a man who believed he was ordinary. Think about this for a minute. Who really believed he was an ordinary citizen leading an extraordinary country. Right? I'm looking down the aisle to President Barack Obama, who believes he's an extraordinary man leading an ordinary America. If there ever was a juxtaposition of those two people, it was in that moment, and clarity came. You ever had those moments where clarity just happens to strike you? Yep. I had that moment. Clarity struck me. And so I could go on and tell you about that. It was a long story. I could tell you what I said at some point. If you want to hear about that, I'd be happy to tell you, but it's just one more story. But the broader point is that we are truly in a battle for the hearts and minds of the American people. We can truly decide today or tomorrow, the next day, whether $15.7 trillion national debt going to 16, 18, 20 trillion is what we want for our future. We can truly decide that women can either really be the leaders that God has intended them to be in their homes and in their communities, in their churches, and in their businesses, or we can reject that. We have to begin to embrace it. Now, I've talked often, people have asked me, what keeps countries like Afghanistan down? Why can't, after thousands of years of culture, why can't they advance and lift themselves up? What is holding them back? And the answer is they don't educate their girls. That is the answer. If you do not have an educated mom, you will not have an educated child. And any culture, you look at it across the globe, any culture that has oppressed and abused and held women down has held their very society down. It is impossible for us to rise up without their freedom. And the reason America is so great is because of people like you. And please, I am not pandering. My wife is way, way smarter than me. I will guarantee you this. I spent a lot of time with her. And I've got 2 sons and 2 grandsons, and she's smarter than all 4 of them. I want a granddaughter really bad, by the way. But the reality is, we have to, and why would we not? Why would we just automatically dismiss and discount 50% of the world's brain power? It makes no sense on any level. And so when the left wants to demonize and ridicule and put you down for your religious belief, or put you down because you're pro-life, or put you down because you want to stay home and raise children, or put you down because you want to be in the business world for whatever reason, we all, men and women alike, must stand up against it. All of us. But now here's our challenge. Our country is at a crossroad. Just like I was in 2008, there was an intersection in my life that I made a decision. America is at an intersection today. And if anything defines that intersection, it is what is going on in Wisconsin. It is right in front of us. And let me tell you what I'm hearing in Washington, because you need to know this. I have businesses that come into my office from all over the country. And what I'm hearing from business leaders around the country is this. You know, Congressman, when we used to think about Wisconsin, we thought about great farms, dairy industry, we thought about your woods, your lakes, your streams, we thought about recreation, we thought about the natural beauty, we thought about the Great Lakes, we thought about your manufacturing base and the Midwestern work ethic, we thought about the Green Bay Packers. We thought about one of the best public education systems in the country, we thought about the best medical care. That's what Wisconsin brand was. And it was a very appealing place to come and bring our business to Wisconsin. Your taxes we didn't like much, but we liked everything else you saw. But the brand of Wisconsin was hard-working Americans who took opportunity and made something special. But today, when we think about Wisconsin, we think about political unrest. We think about protests. We think about turmoil. And the real damage that's going on in this whole recall is that damage to the brand of Wisconsin. It is so much bigger than who's sitting in the governor's mansion. It is about the very brand of what the American people think about us. That's why June 5th is so critically important. Not just to Wisconsin, but to America. Everybody is watching. The whole country is watching what's going on. I was at Eastern Market in Washington, D.C. Eastern Market is kind of a cool, vibing place where they sell fresh fruits and vegetables, and every now and again my wife and I want to have fresh fruits and vegetables. So we went down to Eastern Market last year, and this long-haired kid with a ponytail runs up to me with a flyer and said, "You need to come and help us protest," and he shoves his flyer in my hand and takes off. I opened the flyer up, and it was a picture of Scott Walker with a circle and a line against it. In Washington, D.C., this guy didn't know who I was. You know, saying that Scott Walker was anti-education, how goofy is that? He saved our education system in the state. We have to recognize that. So you need to make sure that your governor, for those of you that voted for him, maybe there's someone here that did, but your governor, you need to make sure he stays in office. You need to tell him. It's your job. We like to think that all this is about politicians, and it's not about politicians. This is not about the political class in Washington, D.C., or the political class in Madison. When we start to think in terms that this is about the political class, when we start to think in terms that it's about guys like me and the men and women that I serve in Congress with, when we think it's about us, we err in a way that damages this country. In 1776, and you need to hear this, if you hear nothing else, hear this. In 1776, the American people, the colonists, cast off the shackles of a sovereign king. and replace it with a sovereign people. That is you. President Lincoln talked about a government that's for the people, by the people, of the people. That's you. It is not your congressman. It is not your senator. It's not the president. It is you. America is about you. You are the sovereign in this country. You just need to know and embrace and grab the fact that your future is in your hands. It is not in my hands. I am nothing but a messenger. I am the voice of what the sovereign wants me to talk about. And that is your role. I was given this card when I became a member of Congress. Most Americans have never seen a card like this. This is my vote card. On the back, it's got the seal of the House of Representatives. And the front's got my picture, and I apologize for that. And I use this card to give you voice. It is not my card. This is not my card. Sherry, this is your card. Okay? You know, Eileen, this is your card. This is not my card. You are the sovereign people of the U.S. This card is just the voice that gives you your statement in Washington. Now, you can choose to seize that voice or not. You can choose to make this your card. You can choose to grab it, embrace it, and cause it to be your own by what you do between now and November 2nd. Because I will tell you, I do not believe that my predecessor would have ever said, this is your card. This is your card. I'll hold it as long as you want me to. But I gotta say this, my wife wants me to say this, but no more than 8 years. I'll hold it as long as you have me hold it. And so there is work to be done.